Hey, good morning. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. How are you all today? I want to talk a little bit about guns. So many people's favorite topic, and a topic about which there's a lot of misinformation and misunderstanding and such. Welcome to all the new people, by the way, all the new subscribers on YouTube and all the patrons over on Patreon. We're just growing like the dickens, and it's great to have you all. And as we continue to grow, we keep getting more good content from our subscribers and patrons, meaning the comments, the information that's shared and all that. If you're not with us on Patreon, you might consider it, because we have a great community section over there. And in addition to what you'll get from these videos, you go to our community section or just the comments, and we have some very, very smart people over there who share a lot of their expertise, and I learn, and you could learn too. Before we get into this, I'm going to talk about guns. As I said, this, as all of the videos, are brought to you by the Stonemont series, my series of books about preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a total collapse. And in these books are everything that, well, everything you could possibly need to know, want to know. More than that, I say that I've never been asked a question that I haven't already answered in detail in one of these books, and more. I have answered questions you probably haven't even thought of yet. So if you'd like to really get deep into survival and preparedness and a good story, the people in these books you're going to get to know, to like, and see how they well, it's a good story, and other people tell me that. If you'd like to know how to get them, you can get them either through Amazon or from me, and the links are right down below. You can get them from Amazon either in paperback or Kindle, and you can get autographed copies from me. The address on is how to do that. Okay, let's get into the subject at hand here, guns. In response to the one that I put up yesterday, I think I entitled it, "He Shot Her in the Head." It was about the shooting of the wife of a good friend of mine, and during a street robbery. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it after you watch this. But I had a couple of comments that caused me to shake my head. What is that people, it took me forever. Sometimes people would, I'm not really up on this techie stuff, so what is it? SMH, right? Sometimes when people would put SMH, what in the world does that mean? Well, I found out, and it is appropriate, and I shake my head quite a bit. Is there, let me start with this question. Is there a viable alternative to a gun? Okay, I have so many people ask me that. I can't carry a gun because of this. I don't, whatever. If I have time, I'll tell you just an astounding story about a young man and why he doesn't carry a gun. If we get to that, I will. It illustrates the absurdity of the way some people think. So let me answer this very quickly. Is there a viable alternative to carrying a gun? The answer is no, there is not. Okay. One of the comments that I got on yesterday's was, I forget how it started. A couple things. I keep my head on a swivel. I'm pretty big and in good shape, and so far that's seen me. That's done well for me. That just blows my mind when somebody says that. Good Lord, I'm tall, okay? I'm big, and I used to be tough as nails. I don't know how tough I am anymore. Nobody's tried for a while, so who knows? Up here I just am, but up here I'm ready. But I have never been tough enough to take a guy with a gun. I don't understand where this ridiculous thinking comes from. You can be 8 feet tall, 500 pounds of nothing but muscle, And some little tweaker with a gun he bought at a pawn shop can make you do anything he wants. You think he can't? You think, or you can't make me? Okay, he'll let him shoot you in the knees. Now let's see how you're talking. Okay, let him put a couple in you. Now you see, the gun is the great equalizer. You are not tough enough. I don't care who you are, and I know many tough men. You are not tough enough to take out a man with a gun. I don't care what movies you've seen. I don't care that you saw Denzel Washington do that little flip, on that guy in the Equalizer. I don't care. Tough guys get killed all the time by a little weenie with a gun. And you're going to find yourself in the wrong spot at the wrong time sometime. Well, maybe you won't. Maybe you will. Hopefully you won't. But if you're responsible for the safety of any other people, you're not only putting yourself in danger, your life, but their lives as well. One of the things that I'm going to talk about on the Patreon is a Kansas City off-duty firefighter that got involved in an altercation. He was standing up. He was trying to protect somebody. And he was a big guy. You could tell. He was in the prime. Firefighter. Okay? They got into a tussle, and the fireman got killed. He was wrestling with this little dirt bag. Little skinny dirt bag. And the fireman got killed. I'm going to talk about that on Patreon because there are more lessons than just the gun. So no, you're not big enough. You're not tough enough. And I don't care what kind of swivel your head is on. If somebody has a gun, you are a victim in waiting for them. And they will take anything they want to from you. Your property, your girlfriend, I don't care. Oh, I know you'll fight. I know you'll fight. And you'll die. Simple as that. You will die. And the people that you were trying to protect are now at the mercy of that guy who killed you. Okay? Oh, I know. There are going to be somebody there are going to be some who hear that. They're going to still make excuses. Oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I do know what I'm talking about. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay. Another question was from somebody, and as I went back through the comments, I see that they had left another comment sometime back about, well, I can't get a gun, I can't afford a gun, something like that. This one was, I'm single, and I don't have a gun, and a single, one paycheck doesn't allow me to buy a gun. There's such a simple answer to that. Get another job. Work overtime. Pick up something on the side. Okay? That's no excuse. That is no excuse. This is if you want a gun, then get a gun and find out a way to do it. Okay? There are so many jobs out there. So many jobs. Well, I live in a small town. Okay, well, I understand that. Okay. There are not the same amount of jobs in small towns, but we run down to Clinton, Missouri all the time. I see help wanted signs everywhere. Get another job, for crying out loud. You can get a decent gun, handgun, for $300 to $400. My daily carry, and I have carried for 47 years. I have carried some jam up, some great guns. Okay, everything from Colt Commanders to Springfield Armory. Springfield Armory is my winter carry. A 1911 45 auto. My daily carry, I paid $279 for several years ago at Academy. It's a Smith & Wesson SD40 VE. It is their budget gun. It is a great gun. It is now running $379 for those who didn't buy guns when I said buy guns. Okay? But you can get, you don't have to go out there and spend a lot of money. Sometimes I think people who say these things don't even have any idea what a gun actually costs. Go to a pawn shop. Go to a pawn shop. Make some contacts. You'll find somebody that has a gun to sell, and it's not going to be, that much. Go get another job. For crying out loud, if you can't afford a gun, you're not going to be able to do the things that are helping you really prepare. And there is no viable alternative for a gun. Let me put that. Now, I've said that pretty quickly, so now I'm going to tell another story about a disappointing young man who was big and strong and kept his head on a swivel and thought he was tough. Let's get to that. Excuse me, Lana. Guy came up to me. You all know, most of you know, that I used to work at a hospital in security, and I spent most of my time drinking coffee back in the ER galley, talking with some of the guys. And there was a lot of guys there that were a lot of very preparedness-minded people. As a matter of fact, a lot of people in my group came from that hospital. So, naturally, I'm very lucky. So the medical part of our group is just jam up. But these guys were also had backgrounds in many other things, and were very adept with firearms as well. So there was this young kid there. He was a nurse. He was about 6'4", maybe not 6'3", 6'4". I'm 6'2", and I think he was a little taller than I am, and well set up kid. He was in his 20s, he looked like he spent a lot of time in the weight room. He didn't talk very much, but I could tell that he was always listening. So finally one day he came up to me and he said, "Do you think I should carry a gun?" And I thought it was kind of unusual for that to be the first thing that he says to me, And so I said, "Well, I think everyone should carry a gun." He just started shaking his head, and he says, "Well," now this guy was married. He was married, so he has somebody besides himself to be responsible for. Although I somehow think that in his situation, he didn't feel that way. Like so many of these young, newer relationships, how often does it seem like the woman is the one who carries the responsibility? Dang it does. I mean, it's disgusting to me and probably to most of you. But so many people out there, the woman seems to be the man in the relationship. I don't get it. These guys spend half their time in their weight room, and then the other half apparently playing video games because they don't have manhood stamped in their brains, along with the responsibility that comes with it. So I could get on that rant for a long time. So he's married. I don't think he might have had a kid. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Well, it matters a little bit. So after I said, "I think everybody should carry a gun," he just started going, "Well," and I could tell right off he wanted a conversation, right? That comes into play here in a minute. He says, "Well, how much does your gun weigh?" And I thought, what? How much does my gun weigh? What in the world does that matter? Now, I know there are those people out there, because I see them, right? And I think they read all the gun magazines and they watch all the gun videos on YouTube. And it's all about, and this one only weighs X number of ounces, and this weighs X number of ounces unloaded, X number of ounces with a full mag. These are people that want to get into the talking and not the doing. And if that offended some people out there, good, it should. So get unoffended and get straightened out. So I said, I don't know how much it weighs. He said, well, does it weigh 2 pounds or 3 pounds? I said, I have no idea. A gun weighs what it weighs. Well, it just seems kind of, and then he went, I forget all of his questions. I used to remember all of his questions. They were asinine questions. They were ridiculous questions for no purpose. And he said, well, how big of a gun, do you guys? I says, I don't, get a gun. You want a gun that is capable of solving the problem. So I explained to him. I said, don't get a 9mm. I know all you guys out there. Hey, 9mm sucks. Okay, I just put it that way. It is not an effective round. Okay, it is not. It's great for target practice. It's great if you have it in an auto. It was. If you have it in a submachine gun and you're putting out a whole lot of rounds, out of a 16-inch barrel or 14-inch barrel, something like that, it's got a lot of energy. 9mm out of a pistol, sub-effective. I don't care what you say. If you disagree with me, you have homework to do. Go do it before you come back. And first off, I always say this. I didn't mean to get into 9mm. And I know some of you are laughing out there right now, okay? I didn't mean to get into this, but it's a good jumping off point, okay? Before you start telling me how wonderful the 9mm is, I want you to tell me about the gunfight you have been in. Okay, you have been in. This is a rule. Pay attention now. This is a rule, because when I've done this before, I'll get people come on and go, well, I haven't been in a gunfight, but then they'll want to tell me everything they read in a magazine or saw on one of these YouTube gun channels, right? From people who have also never been in gunfights. Excuse me, let me get this frog out of my throat. and they want to tell me all about it. You know what happens to them? Click, you're gone. Because you violated Rule 1. If you're going to disagree with me, tell me about the gunfight you were in with a 9mm that you won. Okay? Tell me all about it. I'll be able to tell whether you're telling the truth. I'm like Santa Claus. I'll be able to tell. Okay. And then I want you to tell me about all the different gunshot wounds you have seen personally. Not heard about, not had your buddy tell you about, not stories that you've heard, not things you read on some preparedness internet board. Okay. All the ones you have seen made by different calibers. Okay. Is that clear enough? Tell me about the gunfight you've been in with a 9mm, how effective it was, and then all the other gunshot wounds you have seen yourself. That means you. And compare them. I want it 9, 40, and 45. And if you've seen some 357, throw those in, or 38s, whatever you've seen. But let us know all your experience before you start disagreeing with that. Okay, back to this. So I told him, first off, get either a 40 or 45. Because most everybody's doing auto loaders. I would say 357. 357 is a fantastic cartridge. But you're going to get them. It's a revolver round. You're going to get ones that hold either 6 or 7. Now, 6 or 7 usually is enough. It's all you need, but I know that everybody's into the high capacity stuff. And I'll admit, I carry a higher capacity auto loader as a daily carry. Because anymore, who knows? Who knows? You might need them, especially if you don't want to carry a reload. Which is another reason that people talk about 9mm is better, because you can carry more capacity. Really? Well, my 40 carries 14 and the 9 of the same model carries 16. If you think that 2 make a difference up in those numbers, you're wrong. Okay, so I keep talking to him, and I just don't know. It just seems like a lot of trouble. Do you have to carry it all the time? And I says, yeah. Well, if you carry. Because you don't know, when something's going to happen. I'm still trying to be nice to the kid. You don't know when something's going to happen. I said, it doesn't matter what it weighs. You get used to it. Well, I don't know. He just here's where I saw that he didn't really want to learn. He just wanted the conversation, right? So how many people are like that? They don't want to learn. They just want the conversation. And they want the conversation to kind of lead, again, like 9mm people, want it to lead to justify their wrong decision. Okay? Well, I wonder how many people I've lost over this. I don't care. I'm trying to help you. You are listening to the voice of experience. okay? Please learn. Please jump that ego fence and go, you know what? Maybe from a guy who's been carrying a gun for 47 years and have seen all sorts of things and things I won't get into, maybe he knows what he's talking about. I'll take his advice. But that's up to you. So finally, after talking to this kid for, it had to be 5 minutes, it was like, beating my head against a wall trying to answer his stupid questions. He just kind of shook his head and said, very, very kind of, it was a weird attitude. How would I describe it? I would describe it as dismissive and aloof and superior, all rolled up into one. He said, well, I don't want to have, oh, no. He says, well, this was an important part I almost forgot about. He says, well, I don't know if I want to carry a gun, but I'm glad that people like you do. And I said, what? And this is where I started getting a little straight with him. So you want to leave your safety and the safety of your wife and kids up to somebody else? What in the world are you thinking? And that's what I'd say to this guy who left the comment. I'm big and I'm strong and I keep my head on a swivel. So you are not assuming the responsibility for your own safety, for the safety of your wife, for your kids, whoever's around that should be able to depend on you. And that's what I said to this kid. You're leaving your safety in somebody else's hands? What kind of a man is that? Well, finally, with this attitude that I just described as a combination of superior and aloof and dismissive, he just said, well, I don't want to have to carry a gun every day of my life. And off he pranced. Oh, my goodness. That's a lot of people out there. Excuse me just a second. So no, there is no viable alternative for a gun. Now, should you be able to fight with other things? Yes, and I teach fighting with hammers and saws and crowbars and screwdrivers and chisels and everything like that. I have a whole section in my system that I teach those things. No, I'm not soliciting for this because I don't take I take very selective people that I train in that. So no, but please don't ask, can I come train with you? Because the answer will be, I'm sure you're a fine person, but no, I don't have time and I don't do that. So yeah, you would find somebody to do that, to train you in that. Or think about it yourself. Look at some YouTube stuff, but most of it's crap, to be real honest. Most martial arts things that you will see demonstrated are crap. There are some good ones out there, but probably none you've ever heard of. Doesn't mean there's not one close to you. Maybe you can find it. You find somebody that knows how to fight down and dirty with what we call environmental weapons, anything you can pick up off the street, then you want to learn that. You want to learn that. But the thing is, there is absolutely no viable alternative for a gun. If you can't afford one, make more money and buy one and get some training on it. If you think you're so tough that you don't need one, you're wrong. I hope that you don't discover that personally someday. And if you have any other reason that you don't want to carry a gun, hey, feel free to leave a comment. As long as you're respectful, I'll be happy to answer it. I'll probably answer it in a fairly direct way. So, be prepared for that. There's a couple of these things that I will be pretty direct on because people, the way they ask their questions. So, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Get a gun. If you don't have one, there's no way you protect yourself against one, someone who has one. So now I'm going to get off and I'm going to tell this. I'm going to go over and make one on Patreon that talks about this firefighter who got killed by this little pipsqueak, the firefighter that thought, it was right here in Kansas City, just a couple of weeks ago, who thought he was big and strong. And that little dirtbag felon, been in prison before, little dweeb, killed him dead. And I'm going to talk about the lessons in it. If you're not on Patreon, This is why you should be over there. Okay. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today, meaning get a gun, in order to live well tomorrow, meaning we will live. So then we can live well. You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.